The Monaco Grand Prix. Mm, we have some thoughts about this. It honestly, it was rough. We really thought that it was going to be a little bit different, a lot more different from last year. Last year, the top 10 did not move one bit. It moved around maybe two or three drivers this time. They did a mandatory two pit stop for this race, and it happened to not do anything. What do we think?
As we all knew it would.
Like we
Mandatory.
really thought that it was going to make a big difference, and it genuinely didn't.
I think for this race, it should be mandatory F2 cars in reverse grid.
Because y'all see that F2 pile up?
Oh my gosh!
7 cars out in the first corner.
Yeah,
No,
babe.
and I don't know. I think mandatory make the cars half the size for this race, please.
And
This
reverse
race,
grid.
they drive in go-karts.
Ooh,
Well, like-
perfect.
Yeah, no, that'd be perfect. Because like genuinely, when not Alex, when Carlos and Liam, they both were holding up the traffic so much. It was literally like 15, like it was like 10 or like 15 cars all behind them piled up with like the top 4 over here. And it was just piled up because you can't overtake. So if one driver in front of you is going slow, you're not going anywhere. And then it's just going to
Nope.
keep bunching up.
Yeah.
It literally was like, it might as well have been a safety car because that's what it felt
I know.
like. It was,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm hoping next year it's going to be different, but it was so exciting.
I think literally if the cars were just smaller, it'd be better.
Exactly. Because this race was so good in like the 70s, 80s, 90s. And then they made the cars like double the size, and look what's happened. This is
Even
just
Max
Look where we are.
Even Max was talking about the 70s. He said that his shifts felt like the 1970s.
yeah.
So he's obviously thinking about it.
He was reminiscing, even though
He
he wasn't born then, but he was reminiscing on it.
He was reminiscing.
He was like, when I was driving in the 1970s, this is what my shifts felt like.
This is exactly how it felt like when I was driving in the 70s because I was
Yep.
alive and well.
I was alive in there.
I was there. Yep.
He was. Yes. And we were there to watch it actually.
We
Yep.
were.
We were
It was
witnessing it.
interesting.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
I genuinely like the first lap, we had Nico hitting in the wall. And I was like, oh, he's done. He's done. Safety car.
Gabrielle.
Hooked.
No. It was Nico. Was it not Nico?
I thought it was Gabrielle.
When on Kimmy?
No.
No, the first lap.
No. Like Gabrielle.
Oh yeah, Kimmy kind of.
Kimmy went
Oh my
back.
gosh, that was Gabby. He literally had a radio. Oh my gosh.
I was just like, wait, did I miss that? Like,
No. Wait, I don't know why. He literally had a radio saying, oh, like that was Kimmy. Like he pushed me in or something. I was like,
Yeah.
not really, but
just
It's
kind of
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, you make mistakes when you're driving at like that speed, so whatever. Yeah. No, anyway, so it was Gabby. He hit the wall, and I was like, he's done for. Retired.
Yeah, he's cooked.
ESC.
It's over.
Car, literally nothing. He just reversed out, and I was like, wow. So I'm already like being dramatic.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. Like I'm done.
I was done.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
already
also-
tired.
Dude, Pierre Gasly. Oh, Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda. I don't know what was up, like the best friends just hitting each other. I'm like, you guys,
The Yuki air was too much for that. I was like,
this is
guys,
the second
again?
time this season that they've crashed.
I don't know why he's trying to take Yuki out so they can go chill on the yacht together again. This is the second time this season, Pierre. If you want,
Nobody knows.
why don't you just send him a text? Send him a pigeon across the road in Monaco, and you'll hang out. You don't have to.
You guys can hang out.
It was like, well, because at first they were saying, oh, something's wrong with Pierre's like rear, like his rear tire's locked up, and that's why he ran into Yuki. But then after, well, it was during the race because Pierre retired, and then Pierre was like, no, people are saying that something's wrong with my car. Yuki moved under braking.
Yeah.
So I don't know why people are saying that. So I was like, oh,
No,
But-
Pierre said it was there was nothing wrong with his car. He just did not expect Yuki to move under braking and had to
Yeah.
drive into the back of him.
yeah. So there's that. I mean, it kind of did look like that because it kind of looked like Pierre wasn't expecting it when he was kind of like this. But yeah, either way, like I don't know how Yuki didn't have like any damage to his car.
I was so confused on how he just kept driving after that because he hit it
I-
really hard.
It was hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually have no idea.
Well,
Because with how broken Pierre's car was, like, how did Yuki walk out of there
he was
alive?
sliding. He was going fast. So I just don't
know.
understand how his rear was fine. Like the rear wing wasn't like damaged at all.
I don't know.
That was interesting to me. But yeah, I don't know. because the commentators also, I feel like the commentators had this mixed up, and I was like really confused, like how you messed that up or like missed this. They were saying, "Oh, come on." Come on, we've had that so long. Anyways,
I'm just agreeing.
no, yeah, it's agreeing with me.
It agrees.
Yeah. Because what in the world was going on with those commentators? Because they were like, "Oh, if Max," because the whole Max thing, he was like, "I'm going to keep driving on these 40 old lap tires, mediums." And he was there cooked, and he was going so slow. You could see like Lando was so impatient because Max is driving so slow.
Yeah,
He's
bro.
got to George, bro.
He was like, "Can Max like go in the pit?" And Max was trying to wait to the last lap for a red flag just in case, because why not? And it was like, "Oh, well, Max doesn't even need a pit because it's a 30-second penalty, and he'll end up in front of Lewis either way because Lewis was 45 seconds behind the lead."
Mhm.
And then they're like, "Oh, actually, never mind. It's not a 30-second penalty. It's a disqualification." I was like, "So how are we mixing that up? That's not.
I really don't know.
That's such a wide difference." And I'm like, were they not like I don't know. I was like, how would we mix that up?
When you texted me that, and I was like, disqualification.
Mhm.
I had to turn the radio off, and I was like, y'all gotta keep me updated. I was like,
No, because I heard 30 seconds and I'm like, George Russell, don't even pit. Just keep driving.
Yeah, well, that's what they were doing. Mercedes wasn't pitting. Mercedes,
Yeah.
both Kimi and George, did not pit until like the last like quarter of the race.
It was kind of freaking me out. I was like, guys, everyone else has stopped 2 times, and you haven't stopped at all.
I know.
Like,
It was saying that they were the only ones that haven't pit. It was like did like a graphic of who's pit, who hasn't.
Yeah.
Who hasn't pit?
It was
George.
just them two.
I was like,
They said
So
we
I didn't
only
even remember them pitting both times. I don't remember them even pitting
I don't
twice.
remember them pitting at all, honestly.
I think I was like,
George had to go through 3 times because of his penalty.
oh my gosh, his stupid penalty. Well, that's again the whole.
That was funny.
Who else
That
was
was
talking about that? That was
hysterical.
the funniest thing ever.
Best part of that race.
He said, "I'm done with Alex. Let me get out of here."
He was
Yeah,
he was
bro.
like,
He'll pay my bill tonight at dinner.
no, yeah, and he did actually. I'll put
It's
a-
just funny how George played it off because, like, bro, watching that back, we know you just made that move because you felt like you needed to, but you had 0 room. You just drove straight through the chicane, and you were like, "I'm just gonna go." The way he looked at everybody and was like, "Yeah, Alex moved under braking." Bitch, no, he didn't. You just drove past him because you felt like it, and then we're like, "I'll take whatever penalties coming my way."
George was like just over. He was like, "I'm just over how slow Alex is going right now," because Alex was going pretty slow, and that's obviously like it's. Oh my gosh, that's the worst part. Is literally if somebody goes going slow, you can't do anything about it. You can't just be like, "Oh, let me overtake you." Somebody goes slow, that backs everybody up, and that can be a good strategy for some people, and it was a good strategy for Williams and Bulls. Because Racing Bulls got P6 and P8, and them Lawson slowing the rest of the drivers behind helped Isaac get up there, and also Carlos helped Alex get up there.
So
but I was like, are you serious? Like, that's a cool strategy. It's a great strategy for them, but that just makes it so much more annoying for everybody else in the grid.
And watching it, it's just a boring race.
So boring.
Like, I didn't get in trouble for it. Like, I'm surprised, like, race control wasn't, like,
But I think because they were pushing it, like, if you go with certain speed, race control will get involved. But I feel like because they weren't going, like, so insanely slow, there's nothing they can do about it. Yeah, which is crazy, and I think it should be amended. But
I know, I feel like that should be, like, there should be, like, some kind of guideline on that you can't, like, there's some, like, you said that's an intentional strategy. Like, they're obviously intentionally doing that, which is, obviously, it's, like, a smart thing to do because it's a loophole. But that just ruins the race. It's just so boring.
And it makes the 2 people behind you, like Kimi Antonelli and George Russell, who George was like, "Yeah, fuck it, give me a penalty. I'm just gonna go because I don't want to be here anymore."
He was gonna get.
And then literally a lap later, Kimi Antonelli went to do the same thing, and they were like, "Dude, it's a 20-second drive-through penalty. Just get back behind him. It's fine."
Yeah.
Which it wasn't Mercedes' race anyway. They were not getting points.
No.
So
Toto's face said it all. He literally was like,
did you see where Toto after the race literally said, he was like, "I forgot we had to do 2 pit stops."
Oh my gosh.
What?
He was like, "I totally forgot that there was a 2 pit stop rule." And I'm like, dude, that's like your whole job.
This is actually your life. Yeah.
But sure, okay, yeah.
I don't know. I'm going between the fact if the race was better before the mandatory two pit stops, or if it was better with the mandatory two pit stops. And I
don't think it makes that
I
much of a
think it was
difference.
a little bit better with just because last year I feel like there wasn't as much movement.
because there wasn't like really anything at all in the top 10. At least there was nothing. There was a couple overtakes in the lower midfield. That was it. But
Yeah.
At least it had a little bit of movement.
there was a little bit of
Well,
movement.
because Monaco's such a slow track, you can go on a set of mediums for so long because
so,
it's
like,
just such a
fatiguing.
slow track. So
Yeah.
I feel like the two pit stops makes it a little bit more fun, but I still don't think it's that great of a track.
They also had to use two different compounds at least. So it was like, oh, Max had to go on softs or something for one part.
Yeah.
What I think that makes it more strategy based instead of qualifying based. It's kind of adding in another factor, which is good. It was not enough. It wasn't like, I don't think it was a change to what they were wanting. I think they were thinking it's bigger, and that wasn't what happened. It changed like 25% of it. Not even that. Like that's it.
I think the yellow flag at the beginning also didn't help because a lot of people got their first pit stop.
Yeah, a lot of people just got a cheap first pit stop.
The yellow flags, like I bet, like because a lot of drivers, there were a ton of drivers banking on the fact that there's going to be a safety car, and they are a lot of them are right, a lot of them are wrong, but a lot of them are right. And I think that if there weren't safety cars, it would have been so much cooler, like so much better. You can't get any kind of free pit stop.
Yeah.
And it just makes it a lot more interesting for everybody and the drivers. There's a lot more fighting, a lot more racing going on. But obviously, it's Monaco. It's a street circuit. It's a very intense street circuit. And you're obviously going to get some yellow flags, some incidents, which it's just, I don't know. I feel like I see where they're going with this decision to have the two mandatory pit stops, but that's not like the issue. It's just that the cars are too big.
Yeah.
So that's a whole fundamental issue. That's a whole base issue that's going to take a long time to figure out. I feel like because like
freaking like submarines going around Monaco, bro.
Well, yeah,
I just think if the cars are going to stay because 2026 the cars are not getting drastically smaller.
Yeah,
but if the cars are going to stay the size that they are, I feel like if they could, they should rework the Monaco track. I get that you don't want to get rid of it, but it lacks a long main straight with a DRS zone.
True.
That's where all of the overtaking exists in F1. Like 90% of overtaking is on a straight.
Mm-hmm. I say we build a road of yachts and they drive.
See, like, my dad said that they should build My dad said that they should build a straight road out into the middle of the ocean that like loops around and comes back.
It could be temporary.
A little addition. Yeah.
Just get a little do what Delaney said. Get
yacht road.
You get a discount. Well, they probably don't care because they're already loaded with money that they're paying to dock their boats. But give the people like the yachts. You have designated yachts. They all line up, and then you make a little road, little fence in between, and they have to drive over, and that's where they would overtake actually. So I think that's a good idea right there.
I think this is the plan.
Line them up like 3 wide. And then, like, just line them up like a road. You know what I mean? And then bust through the middle of them, so it's a big fat road.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where they're overtake right there. They're overtake.
And then people can't like sneak in on kayaks to watch the race.
This is perfect.
Yeah, I see no flaws. Honestly,
I mean, I think it's temporary. You know what I mean?
Exactly, it's a temporary thing. Because honestly, though, like on a real note. Where are they going to rework the track? Like that's
what I said. They can't.
Exactly. It's a street circuit. Like they build on the street. There's not really anywhere else to reroute it, which is the worst thing. Cause it's like, you're not going to get, has Monaco been extended? I feel like they extended it. Cause it's been extended for a few years at least. I think it was like till 2031 or something.
Something crazy.
A lot of years. And obviously there's probably going to be a lot that's going to happen, but for now, 2026 is when we're getting new regulations and the cars aren't getting much smaller. It's not going to make much of a difference. I saw Max did an interview about this after the race, and he was like, it's not going to make much of a difference at all for this. And that's already like 4 or 5 years. You're not going to do these regulations and have even more drastic regulations. I doubt it. Like the year after, like they're not going to, because that's like so much to do. But what are they supposed to do? Like this race is getting like, obviously, it's a very iconic race. It's a very historical, iconic race. But they're going to be losing all these viewers because everybody's going to be like, I don't want to watch this race because it was boring last year. It's boring the year before. Why would I watch this year? It's not going to be any different. So I just they need to do something with it, or else people aren't going to watch it, and they get all their money from their online viewers.
It low-key reminded me of was it Japan where there wasn't a lot of overtaking?
Oh, what race was that?
I don't remember.
It was Japan, but like the one race that everyone was saying was like super boring because no one was overtaking. Like at that point, you might as well just like, if you're feeling kind of crazy, just change the regulations again, and then be like, we're cutting that car in half, boy.
Yeah, I don't
size cars.
I wonder. I'm not okay. I feel like there's a lot of people that actually know this answer, and I don't because I'm not an engineer. But is like the reason that they can't make the cars so much smaller? Isn't it because like the hybrid engines, like it's like the engine difference? Because aren't the engines like a lot bigger because they're hybrid for the environment? There's a bug. For like the environment, they're doing like the.
I think when they went to the hybrid engine, they had to make the cars bigger because the engine is bigger.
Yeah,
and now they're shrinking it down a little bit. Like it's not going to be a crazy difference, but they're shrinking it down as much as they can with the hybrid engine.
Well, because like wasn't
then bring back the V10.
Well, who was saying that? Who was saying like
there was a like brief rumor that the V10 was coming back. I never see that happening.
Absolutely not.
No. But there was a brief rumor, but I think it was shut down pretty quickly.
Like the thing is though, the engines aren't the biggest contributor to the whatever it is, like the whole what's even the term?
Operation?
Like the whole percentage of the what's it called? The like ecosystem
the operation?
No, like the carbon something.
Oh, carbon emissions?
Yeah, okay, yeah. The carbon emissions, the engines aren't like the cars aren't even like near the biggest contributor to the emissions. It's
There's
the
plenty of other things out there.
It's the transportation.
Yeah.
They like I saw like an article on this. It's like that the transportation is like the biggest part of it. So maybe change that
make
around.
all your races in the same place and like do all your European ones.
Yes.
Do all your American ones. Do
have
all
an
your
American
Asian ones.
Have American segments, have a European segment, have an Asia segment. I feel like I don't know how much that would change a lot. No, because you're not like instead of flying from like here to here to here to here to here, you're doing in this area, you're doing in this area, you're doing in this area. And that's like the biggest part is the planes because they're all taking all these planes. They sometimes ride together, but that's not doing much. So that's like the biggest part of it. The cars aren't the biggest contributor to this, so I don't really see why I don't know. I just don't see why they can't go back to some form of the V10, make something like a what's it called? I just don't know why they can't find like some kind of compromise between these engines instead of having this whole hybrid engine that's literally gigantic, making the cars gigantic instead of having smaller cars because obviously the race was so much better. A lot of races were a lot better when the cars were smaller.
So. I think they'll try to shrink the hybrid engine. It'll just take a while because it took them forever to develop a hybrid engine.
Yeah.
So, like, I think with the new regulations, that's their goal is to make the cars as small as they can with the current engine. And then once they can build a smaller hybrid engine, they can move over to that. But for now, we're stuck with crappy Monaco races.
So anyways, we had Charles trying to overtake Lando for the win. He was trying. He was up his best. And he did his best. Honestly, like what can you expect though? It's not going to happen unless Lando made a massive mistake. Because Charles was saying that Lando's making little mistakes, but that's not going to be enough to overtake him. Yeah. So we had Lando winning. It was his first win in Monaco. We have to celebrate. It was a great win. You know, it was his race to lose, and he did not lose it. He actually won it. So
he did a really good job, especially in the beginning. He did very, very well, I think, to just manage everything.
And his qualifying was fantastic. So he had like the fastest lap record. So I mean, it was deserved. So and what else happened? Nothing really else happened, honestly. Like the race was again, we just talked about this. The race was pretty boring. Oscar got P3, Charles P2, Lando P1. Whoop-de-doo.
Yay.
Yay. You know what? We'll be in tune for next year's Monaco. You know what? Maybe we'll see if it's better. We'll see.
We'll be there actually.
Mm-hmm. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll actually be there in person.
We'll be on the yacht trail.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
we'll be on the yacht ramp that we invented, watching the cars overtake each other.
We'll be
So,
on the very first yacht of the yacht ramp that's past the paddock pink with like a big logo on the side.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Watch out for a logo. It's in the corner of this video, so you'll see it. Just keep it in your mind so you can remember it. That's really it. We'll catch you guys next weekend for Spain. Very excited. I love that track, so I'm very excited.
Love.
Yeah. Speaking of Spain, by the way, you guys should go watch our next episode because a Spaniard actually just won the Indy 500. And we're gonna go debrief about it because that was a whole race in itself. 200 laps of fun.
Oh yeah.
A lot
So,
of feelings.
so while you're watching this episode, hear me now. Go watch our Indy 500 episode whenever you want because it's gonna be a fun one because that was a crazy race and it was our first time watching the Indy 500 all together. So, yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you in Spain next weekend. Bye.